And we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 128, and I'm joined by the Stimulation himself, Dashing D1000. There we go. Look at that. The colors in the air. Good evening, sir. How's it going? Oh,
Are you not stimulated?
I guess this is the beginning here of the stimulation already.
Always seducing. Always
I
bringing
see.
the stimulation.
Good evening. Welcome back to the show here. This is our second time talking here, so welcome back to the podcast here. How's every? Oh, don't eat the rose now.
Why not?
No. I don't know if that's edible. I feel like the lights are a little. It might not digest well.
And it'll make a tingling sensation that I can enjoy.
This is also true. This is also true. Well done. But Dashing, how are you? How are you doing? We're in one of the biggest weeks of wrestling right now. So how are you feeling with everything going on?
Riveting. Many things to talk about, many things to look at, many things to feel. This weekend is going to be special, and for me, more reasons than normal. So,
There you go.
what about you?
No, I'm looking forward to it. This is a big week in wrestling. We had to have the stimulation on because there's a lot to be stimulated by this week. There's a lot of wrestling. Everyone's going at it here. Look at this. We got Coltrane in the chat saying Dashing D mob in the building. There we go.
There it is. Hashtag dope. As you know, I am the D in hashtag dope. So be very, very entertained.
This is true, and that's something we are going to talk about here. Let's circle back though. Before we get to hashtag dope and your involvement in that, I do want to talk about the last thing we discussed when you were on was an upcoming match at the project. You're going to be part of hashtag the project. You were doing your thing there. But then at the last event, we kind of saw a different side of Dashing D1000. We almost saw a little bit of a more aggressive side of the stimulation that we hadn't seen previous. Can you discuss a little bit about that? What happened there and that attack on Homeless Vaughn?
Well, you want to actually back it up further. Ever since I walked into the project, I've had to deal with what? The biggest guy in the room, Mr. Public Enemy number one. He left a mark. I told you in that first podcast what I intended to do about that. I said I would be the Attack Titan. I said I'd be your Eren Yeager to every biggest, baddest SOB that was walking in Project Wrestling. To do that, I had to go further. You see, every little strike, every little bit of hope that was taken from me, and I'm going to go into it slowly because it started with TJ. The last person to leave their mark was Chris Cage. And as I always promised stimulation, what I started to realize that there was a lot of pain involved. And I needed to lean into that. That pain started to direct me. That pain was my stimulation. And now it's time for me to just start reciprocating that a lot more. So what you've been seeing is me embracing what I've been feeling and dealing it right back out. Homeless Vaughn, unfortunately, was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I will say this though, it started to, especially at the project, we started to see that kind of work in your favor. You got your very first victory on that night, again, afterward attacking Homeless Vaughn. And then that leads us now to war, where now you are part of Team Hashtag in this war against Super Crazy, where it was announced you would be a part of this match, where again, Homeless Vaughn is in your way. We get to Civil War. Homeless Vaughn is in your way. Alongside you is Walter Diaz, who unfortunately you guys couldn't, even though it was a fatal four-way, though, it was a four-way dance. He might have gotten in your way a little bit, where Tim Dynamite was
might have gotten in my way.
Just putting this in your perspective here, I would assume that's what you would say, right? That he did get in your way on that night.
Getting in my way would be an inconvenience. Being in my way would be a roadblock. What he did was outright interfere. He dropped me on that head with a pedigree And as much as I can thrall and love things of pain, you scramble my brain enough and I actually can't stand well. He did his job. He actually is the reason that match didn't go in my favor. But I digress. He made his mark. He left his mark. But he found out what the stimulation was all about, and it cost him. But let's actually talk about it. Yeah, super crazy. Homeless Vaughn, again, another person where I just can't quite put my finger on is how each time I think I am breaking new levels of just thresholds of pain, there's something new to be thrown at me. His smell is by far one of the worst and most intense things I ever said. It made me scream safe words. It made me be uncomfortable. I didn't want to deal with anything anymore because that smell was unbearable. That vagabond is horrendous. I don't know what that is, but
I I had him on the podcast, and somehow through the screen, I smelled it. That's how bad his stench is.
unfathomable, unfathomable how, oh, he's a derelict, but oh my God, that the stench. However, I always learn from my mistakes. I will be prepared for him next time. He's not going to get by just by having a bad smell. You've seen, if you go back and you see the match, I had him pinned twice and he couldn't even sustain a pin because of the smell. But when it comes to the combat, I'll go nose blind and I'll be ready. I'll deal with him. 10 Dynamite? Mm, I'm not worried, but you did learn to escape. You did find a way to win that match. But this won't be our last dance, and I'm looking forward. He didn't really have the explosiveness that I wanted. He didn't bring the fire I needed, but he definitely showed promise. So I'm looking forward to what happens in the future. And Walter Diaz, that, he's someone who calls himself royalty as well. He's the self proclaimed king of everything. If he wants to walk in the way of true purple rains with his so-called purple carpet treatment with me again, he will find himself on the dashboard.
Ooh, but we have this comment here. I guess Coltrane agrees with you here. He's saying Walter Diaz must be traded. Again, he got in your way, so I might have to agree with him here because we could have had another victory for team hashtag at Civil War if he would have. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to Walter about this.
Let's
Uh
face it, he's fixated on actually trying to do something that he can't, which is be better than me. I'm dashing thousand levels above the rest. He may be a king, and a prince has more fun, and a king may get all the rules, but they're just there for me to break them. He'll figure that out soon enough if he needs to.
Hey, but what we can agree on is this image right here, though. The team standing
Beautiful.
tall. Look at that. You're laying on the victim there. I believe that's Tony Leenda there, just knocked out unconscious. So look at that. That's an awesome picture right there. That's a winning picture. That's a winning
Yes.
picture right there.
And I laugh because these super crazy guys, they're still talking. You go online, they always have something to say. And we were in their backyard on their turf. The challenge was issued and they made this happen. And yet, when it came down for the full on war, they had no chance. Now, you recently had a guy, and I apologize that you had to be on the receiving end. You weren't there. You're just supporting your team. You were cheering us on. You were in our corner as you're supposed to be. And what is it? Samuel Fozzie, Fuzzy?
I
I
believe
don't,
that's it. It doesn't matter.
he's a floozy to me. I mean, this is a guy who actually walks around with turtlenecks and looks like Carl Thomas as a turtle. Like they just melded together somehow and became him. And he wants to call himself wrestler. He needs a haircut. He needs so many things to actually really just come up with a look. But he wants to target hashtag dope and call us backyarders. When at last I checked, we were face to face, each and every last one of us. Before it all went down, we were all face to face. They had the perfect chance to get the drop on us and back up everything that they want to say now. But when the dust settled and the smoke cleared, it was only hashtag dope standing and all of them trying to pick up their own, what should we say, pride, feelings, and teeth off the ground because we whooped them just like we said we could. And the quote, the church is money. We showed them and we told them. What are they going to do about it now?
And again, that's all they do because this kid continues to. That's all he's doing. Social media war. It's the Twitter fingers. That's all he's doing right now. Because again, on that day, he could have been there. He could have had his match with Nikolai White, and he ran away before it could happen.
Oh, of course. Let's not let's acknowledge that he's ducking Nikolai White. He don't want none of the Renaissance. I don't think he drinks enough water. If you ask me, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what it is. He definitely couldn't handle the stimulation. We mentioned Project Codename Wrestling, and we mentioned what happened at that show when I got my first victory. It was him that tried to hotbox with me, and we found out his neck couldn't handle the whiplash effect. All right, my mistake. My darling Nikki left him down for that 1, 2, 3. And now that's not usually the way I go for a victory, but that 1, 2, 3 tells you that was all it took for him to be done like that. So why talk now? See, my theme song says it every time I come out. Don't talk, be about it. I don't need to talk about this. I've already done it.
See, and that's why I feel like when Samael saw you even comment, he stopped his Twitter banter. He then decided to record that video. That video that again, I hate that I had to post. But don't worry. I hope he's watching this right now. Because there's a response coming. There's a response
coming. Annoying.
Our lovely boss man himself, Coltrane, has something in the works. Something's gonna be put out as a response to Fozzy. But for now, hopefully he sees this and knows we're not done yet. We're definitely not done yet. But here we go.
That battle was for Coltrane.
There you go. We got Matt Awesome in the chat saying my boy Dash and D. Here we go. Let's see.
There it is.
Let's see. Got to hit him with that raspberry.
That's right. The raspberry beret is always there, baby.
There we go. But now, as we talked about that, we talked about the war here. But let's talk about another conversation here. Let's go to what you've been doing at TOS. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's been going with you. And
TOS is a little bit more personal. TOS is not about stimulation. TOS currently is not even truly about dashing the 1,000 as you see before you. Currently in TOS, I am just upset at where my brother Greatness has found himself. Now he's joined with the mission, seems to be following cult, and it's just taking him down the wrong path over at TOS. And I'm sick and tired of it. I can't idly watch by. You know, I like to quote New Jack City. I am my brother's keeper. You know, he's not G Money and I'm not Nino Brown, but we were the congregation together. And we were brothers, and we were about the Lord's way. Now, we have definitely veered off on our separate paths, but seeing him fall from grace so far unnecessarily, it irked me. And being in the presence of just being back in TOS was a great thing, and just being able to positively be around that crowd and energy again and give them a little bit more hope. That's all I wanted to do. And then, of course, the mission. Dan the Man. The Book of Thanos, the biggest crap and the biggest load of misogyny since Kevin Samuels. And I swear he wants to dispute these things if he can actually do anything like I can. But it's all a game. It's all what he has to do. He has to surround himself with the other talent to make himself seem better and good and call himself a leader so that he actually can imagine he's on their level. They're all going to realize and they're going to wake up. And when they actually decided to try to use my presence as an assist for them, I had enough. I got involved. And that led to our match with the mission against Team Frost. And I paired myself with Ryan Frost, and we whooped the mission from pillar to post, and they had their uppings on me for a while, but they didn't know that I am still the pain provocateur. And even though in TOS I'm not showing them what the stimulation is all about, I can still take the whippings like no other. The pain that they deliver is just what I enjoy. And when it got to the full limit break, they felt the climax. The mission failed. And now I can focus back on what it is. I just got to reach my brother. I got through him once, and the congregation was back briefly. If I can reach him again, whether it's the congregation or not, we in TOS can just experience greatness again.
I was going to ask with that, is do you think he can be reached again? Do you think there's a chance of the congregation being a thing again? Or do you feel Brother Greatness unfortunately might be too far gone here?
I don't know, but I have faith. And my faith is going to drive me further and further. And now I am on an actual mission to find out what that answer is. I feel like I reached him. If you look closely, if you look at the interaction, if you looked at the matches that I've just been out there for, he still reaches out for me. He still acknowledges me. He still knows what that purity is. He's just lost. But anyone lost can be found. And if he can just pick up the good book one more time and stop reading the pages of the Thanos, get away from thinking that the K1 Classic title is the healing hand he's looking for, and find the healing hand that we always had in the congregation, greatness will be upon him again. He will realize that he is who he needs to be. He is the friend of God. He is the fighting pugilist from Barbados. And he is going to be who he once was. And then maybe he can find himself back to his winning ways and get the K1 Classic Championship like he deserves. And if worst case scenario, maybe I'll just get it, and then he'll have to find me.
Well, then maybe if it gets to that, and maybe I know you said there it's a different side of Dash and D1000. Maybe the stimulation needs to be brought out for a fight like that. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
I don't know if they're ready for that.
There we go. But here we go. We have Walter Diaz in the chat. I guess he missed our conversation about him earlier, but he's asking why you were taking your jacket off. Walter, he's trying to get comfortable here.
Things that you couldn't understand. You're Walter, why? You know what? Why can't he just actually be here and I can actually go back and forth with him? Walter Diaz, you are the king of insects. Your kingdom has crumbled multiple times before your feet. And you want to know why I take my shirt off? You want to know why I can expose myself? Because I have the body that actually is stimulating. I have the swagger that is stimulating. The way I walk, the way I talk, everything I do is purple and velvety, and they love it.
Walter,
what do you really bring to the table?
It was riveting. That intro to the podcast was something there.
Walt, baby. You want to really find out what a purple carpet or purple treatment it can actually be? Give me a call. I'll introduce you to my tailor. I'll take you out on the town. I'll let you experience the thrill that is Dash and D1000. And you can have a true message of luxury to take back for your kingdom. Because only a prince can have the fun that I do. What do you say?
I hope, again, Walter is listening. Again, he's in the chat, but I hope he's taking this message here. But here we go. We have a shout out from Nutrius X in the building there. Look at that. Giving shout outs there. Shout outs to Dash and D. There you go.
That's my boy right there. Nutrius.
And then Walter Diaz saying, I'm okay. Thanks. Okay. You tried to offer him some help here.
Why? Again, you see, again, how is he? What about him is #dope?
Well, Walter, we're supposed to be on the same team here. Look at that picture.
He was even mad that I was accompanied to the ring by Ivy. I mean, Look, I mean, if you haven't noticed, I am your girlfriend's favorite wrestler. However way you put it, it's just what it is, buddy. Like, figure it out.
It
But
made sense.
soon,
Again, I saw the images.
soon.
It was like it makes sense. Who else would the Silver Queen wanna be accompanying to the ring there?
And
Now,
crowning a prince to make it official.
uh, and now he's saying she assaulted him. What? Oh,
That was his fault.
Walter,
He
you were
should have stayed out of the way. He's his own
Coltrane.
worst enemy.
Coltrane, I hope you're still in the chat. Can we make this trade official, please?
No, no, no. Don't even trade him. Don't trade him. Don't. They don't need more numbers. And I mean, a guy like Walter Diaz can actually be very useful still. He's not someone who's unskilled. Like I said, he scrambled my head like an egg. He found an Achilles heels to actually get me uninvolved in a match long enough for there to be a decision, even though it wasn't on our side. So he self sabotaged us. But I think with the right direction and help, we can have him. He can be something special. You know what I think Walter needs? The right amount of stimulation.
Maybe we have to circle back at this. Maybe the next time we do go to war, maybe we have to circle back at this. But again, let's not converse here so Super Crazy can't get any more ideas, because I know one of their spies is probably watching this, because they're always looking at what the true winning team is doing. So
They really believe that they have something that they can compete with. And then I think they do. I mean, they have talents that we've featured in our own shows. I mean, I won't forget Tony Leanda again, La Camora in the project. Yeah, I haven't forgotten. But I pinned you, buddy. It was an elimination match. And yeah, I believe the odds were stacked against me from the jump. I believe that team was just such a mismatch, and I was slapped the mantle of captain hours before. But we were able to actually get out your big dog. I got overzealous. You're right. I can get carried away. But it was always everyone that represents hashtag dope in the project originally that stood tall that night. So Big Tony, you chose the wrong side, pal. I'm sorry. It'll happen again.
it's looking that way, because again, like I said, look who's standing tall and look who's just who's taking a nice nap.
Beautiful shot.
In
It's such a beautiful shot. I mean, I changed my clothes.
Yep.
I was relaxing. I was relaxing. And it still was more than enough.
It's funny though, because I believe Super Crazy didn't even give him a match now because of these actions. They're scared to put him in the ring at their next show. Wow. He has no match.
Well, maybe he's going to realize what a power lies. I mean, maybe he'll do what he did before and talk to Chris and talk to TJ and find their ways together. But isn't the big dog mad now?
Yeah, we might. I still don't know what's going on with the boss. He's kind of mad at us, but I thought we're all good. We did this for the group here. I'm not sure what's going on here. I know you're not too fond of him anyway, so
I'm not fond of TJ. The way I feel about TJ is simple. He's public enemy number one to everyone in his own head. He's not as scary as he wants to be. But he'll find a problem as much as he can, as frequently as he can, to make the talk about him. He should be proud. He should be happy. But now we're supposedly having to check in with him about what we do as grown men, about how we actually put asses in seats and flunkies on their black. I mean, come on. We took out a whole nother promotion showing our dominance as a unified front. I'd be proud. I'd look and say, wait, Coltrane, you did something. If he's going to be Thanos of the North Seas, the Mad Titan, taking over everything, just collecting all the belts like rings, like stones, why not expand everywhere? Why not have an army? I'm willing to support. I can fall in line, but I won't be treated like a child.
Again, I'm hoping this can all work out because again, we're seeing another collection happen on the 16th. The boss is winning another championship. The match is announced. It's only inevitable here. He collects another
Yes.
ring. So unfortunately, you'll be at TOS that day, so you won't get to celebrate the win there. But we'll let you know how that mission continues there on the 16th.
Well, maybe I can. I don't know. Maybe things can happen. We'll see.
Again, hope for super crazy purposes, we won't. We'll talk about all that off the air so they can get any ideas. Because again, we saw what Samuel Falsey had to say. He's worried about us being in the building, but he's talking about causing harm, but he's scared about hashtag dope being in the building.
Yeah,
But,
I
but
know.
it,
I found it very interesting that he would threaten you the way he does and then says, "Oh yeah, that's right. Because of hashtag dope, I can't say but so much." So right there, you've already told the world you're concerned, you're worried, you have fear. And we put it there rightfully so. I mean, it's not no stretch of the mind that he should have anxieties. He should be afraid. It is not that we are some sort of anathema to him. We are a very real threat. He knows it, he's felt it, and he believes it. I'm starting to believe he has to talk tough to not really show what he's truly afraid of. And that might be his own neck, but I don't know what it really is. Maybe if he got out of those tight sweaters, he might actually breathe and deal with things. I mean, he's running from Nikolai White. He just wants to mouth off to mouth off. But it's almost like everybody on the card. The funny thing is, though, I've only really seen about three people really wanting to talk and do this fight. And I think the reason is because simply super crazy. I give them a lot of credit. Great promotion, great talent, loads of things. But they are not hashtag dope. They are not as a united front. They are not as strong. They are not what we do. And they are not aggressive about taking over other territories or locations. And we will do that. We can do that. And they're just playing defensive, rightfully so. I know it's going to be a fight. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it comes out. Like I said, these are the things that get me out of bed. This just keeps me from just living in a lap of luxury, living too cushioned, because I need things to keep going. So hopefully we back them enough into a corner and they'll lash out and we can see a real war.
I'm hoping so because again, it looks at this point it's looking one sided here. We're already winning. It's inevitable that we're gonna have one of their prized possessions in our group here, with the boss man winning that super crazy championship. But again, it's time will tell. We'll see if they'll
Uh,
respond. But we'll
they
see.
have to.
We'll see.
We'll stimulate them.
That's the way right there. But let's talk a little bit more about Dash and D1000 here. Let's talk about where else could we possibly see the stimulation appear this year? Because the year's young. We're still early on in 2023. We're still in March. We're about to be in April this weekend. So where could we possibly see Dash and D1000 show up this year? Is there anything on your radar that you're looking to cause some pain in?
Everywhere. I don't have a very particular place. I don't have an aim or a goal that is going to be cemented in stone. Wherever I'm needed, wherever I'm wanted, wherever I can find myself being. That's exactly where you'll find me. And I put it like this: wherever the biggest challenges lie, I always have my eye on. Thing is, iron sharpens iron. But right about now, this piece of iron has been filed down into a shank, and I want to shank and stab everybody with it. So consider this the year of the open challenge. Bring me, give me your best, and let's see what we can do. I want the magic, but can they handle the smoke?
Well, then, here we go. Shout out to our good friends at the Knucklehead Network there. My buddy Toe in the chat. Yo, yo. And then look at this. We were talking about him earlier. We are talking about Nikolai White. He says dashing there. Here we go. See, that's what we want to hear. Let's beat up these super crazy scrub. Nikolai, they don't want the smoke.
They're
Here.
afraid. They're afraid. I, they don't drink enough water. You left them dehydrated. They don't stimulate. So, I mean, we're going to have a whole lot of fun. Uh, Nikolai, you know what? Let's get started on him.
Again, Nikolai, look at that picture. Look at Nikolai. He's just standing tall there. That's a hydrated guy right there. And look at
But
that.
I got to admit, I'm going to say something. And if it lands me in hot water, I apologize early. But Nikolai and Gangon is.
I know they're still not. We're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. Hopefully, we can all be good. But unfortunately, right now it's just. Well, look at, you know what? They are having a show, Nikolai. They are having a show on the 16th. We might have to. I'm in the mood for some for a little fun on the 16th. Why not?
I just don't want to be bored.
So this is true though. Again, they don't have.
I mean, if
us on
homeless
the
Vaughn
show.
is in the building, there's no way for me to fall asleep. That smell alone will keep and wake the dead.
I haven't seen him announced. I'm not sure if homeless Vaughn will be on the building. But again, they did announce Semi Alfazi, but we saw what happened last time. It's card subject to change every time he's on the show. So
Of course, he'll put his sweater on and actually pull a muscle.
I don't get it, Nikolai. I hope you're still here. You saw what he did. He didn't want to fight you. He's cutting promos on me, but now he's scared of hashtag dope being in the building. So I don't get this. He wants to cause us harm apparently. Well, he said he wants to cause me harm, which again I don't understand why. I'm supposed to narrate the action here. I call the story.
I don't know. Maybe he just needs to understand what a good old fashioned New York beatdown is, and he can actually get his mouth wired shut. Sounds about right to me.
Maybe that's what we have to do. And look at that. Nikolai. I hope you can, brother, because again, it is. That's what we had originally planned. We signed it down because Super Crazy sent us their best. We gave them our best at hashtag dope. But again, their best is looking. We saw what happens to their best. Again, we're just going to keep showing that picture because
the proof is in the pudding right there. It's there. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And who better to tell you that than Dash and D1000? Like, I am literally, I like it to be on display. I like it to be very visual. I can say it as much as I want, but I walk it like I talk it. Call me Domingos. I am going to always leave something for display the way we did. Like I said, we don't have to talk about it. We can just show the footage. We can just simply roll back. We can show pictures. We can show video. Hey,
it's all there.
He says it. Show him. Tell him.
It's and that's the thing. They continue to just talk. No actions have been done. We did actions that day. And maybe
don't talk about it. Be about it. And I apologize if you feel something.
That's what it is. Again, it's actions are speaking louder than words. But again, maybe we have to show that real poster there because they made theirs. I'm not too fond on it. I like this one a little better here because that logo is nice and prominent. Maybe at Enemy of the State, maybe we do have to go down. Maybe again,
let's see.
We'll do a stay tuned. We'll do a stay tuned.
Sorry. Making arrangements.
Huh.
We'll see what happens.
All that. But let's even talk about this because this is how how scared Super Crazy is that we'll even break this down a little bit. They were too scared of your promo, Dashing D. A promo, we got it. It was banned from an unknown source. I would assume it was them. They probably were a little too scared. They had a promo taken down. We got a copyright strike apparently from someone that said it was harming. We don't know why. So what are your
What?
thoughts on that, Dashing D, about your promo apparently being harmful? It
I
was an
find it offensive.
it
I
was
find it
unnamed.
offensive. I'm an artist. I'm always expressing myself. I was actually showing what stimulation is. I was showing how I can be regularly stimulated and that the pain that I literally just put myself through is something to be of warning and showing to my opponents that if you're going to try to hurt me, you're going to have to try as hard as you can because I do it to myself for pleasure. So they said it's harming. They said it's scary. It says, ooh, Dash and D1000 is all of that. I'm too hot for TV. I am going to probably push the envelope much more. I live in luxury. I don't play by the rules, and that's just what it's going to be. But if you can't handle that, you have no idea of the cinematic value that is hashtag dope. We've been doing this for the longest. We've been making these movies. We've been bringing the edge. We've been bringing attitude. We've been bringing action. We've been bringing everything imaginable that makes beautiful content. So if you have to censor, if you have to ban, if you can't live on the edge, you can't find yourself on the fringe, you've already lost. Because that's where I live. That's where I exist. And like I said, I may be just the D in hashtag dope. But make no mistake, if you can't handle me, how are you going to handle the rest of us? A renaissance like Nikolai White, the absolute Chris Cage, Dan Maff, Black G's, all of these legends, talents, hungry superstars, Mantis. You are dealing with creme de la creme. Yes, and that is a pun and direct shot at you, Tony. The creme de la creme is with us. The creme de la creme is with hashtag dope. So if you can't handle that and can't put it in your coffee and really get a good shot of the stimulation that we're bringing to you, give up now and just fold. Save us the time, save us the energy, and give us everything you have because we will take it.
You know what? I feel like that's a perfect way right there to end it because I couldn't have said it better myself. Look at that. Oh, our lovely Antonella is saying, "Oh no mention of Diaz. Diaz is there. We talked about him earlier. We said he does his job. He does his job.
For Diaz,
It, oh,
I mean,
the actions again, it speaks for themselves. But ladies and gentlemen, please, for everyone watching, don't forget to follow our good friend here, Dash and D, on all of his social medias. There, stay stimulated, stay enjoying the lights, camera, stimulation, and continue to figure out why he is the stimulation and why that pain is truly just riveting here. So, Dashing D, we hope to see you soon. We hope to see you maybe again. For everyone that's super crazy, keep your eyes open because you never know where hashtag dope will be next. But everyone watching, as always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft, and we'll see you
and dare
guys.
to be dashing.
There you have it. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.